good when the stage drops. Believe me when I say she don't look good. Believe me.
Yo, what it is, TDC? It's your boy Srotonn here, but you could call me Tone. All right, listen, if you do not know about me, I am a big comedy guru. Big comedy guru. That's all I watch. I mean, for the most part, I will watch a drama. I will watch something every now and then if it has good story. But you talking about entertainment? There's not many comedies that I haven't seen, especially that are under like PG-13. But especially if they're a raunchy comedy, I can't think of a lot that I haven't seen. Like that are like really good. I'm talking about the low budget ones too. I'm on that too. And I mean, I have my thoughts on that, but we're gonna get into that later. I recently found out that Judd Apatow is my favorite director. So let's get to it. I love this movie, bro.
¿Cómo se llama? No!
I saw this movie when I was in like high school. I was probably like 9th grade. And then a lot of these movies was on Comedy Central. And that started my love for comedy. 100%.
Kelly Clarkson!
Judd Apatow is arguing
What they said, what Family Guy said, hey man, Comedy Central didn't start, maybe not have started comedy, but they definitely probably centralized it for sure.
the most important comedy producer in the last half century. Through a slew of highly personal projects, he defined the American comedic.
Like, look at this, bro, like, look at this. I remember I was trying to tell people all the movies that I liked, and it was like, so you just like Judd Apatow. And I'm like, who is that? I looked it up and I was like, all my favorite movies, this is what the big motherfucker directed. This shit is crazy.
Sensibility throughout the 2000s. He made stars out of non-traditional actors and has had a longevity rarely seen in Hollywood's ecosystem.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
And yet, after this meteoric rise, everything seemingly changed. Judd Apatow was born in Queens, New York, but raised in Syosset on
we're going to an early life. Oh shit, okay.
Long Island. After his parents were divorced at the age of 12, his mother took a job as a hostess at a local comedy club where the young Apatow would meet many of his early childhood heroes. This would prove to be a formative experience for him on multiple fronts. He was able to discuss the process of creation with industry stalwarts, made connections, and begin.
Look at Adam. Oh my God, young Adam. Oh, I forgot my dog name, but you know, y'all know this trio very well. Y'all know this trio name.
Able to discuss the process of creation with industry stalwarts, made connections, and begin to cultivate a personal approach to comedy. Apatow has said in interviews since that he thinks his mother took a job as a hostess in order to facilitate this exact creative brokerage. However, they never actually spoke about it. For Apatow,
shout out to mothers, man. Shout out to parents in general. It's so sad sometimes, but it's dope too because parents will really risk everything for their children to have everything. It's so crazy.
Humor became his salvation. He had an aching hole in his heart from his parents' divorce that just kept widening. Comedy helped numb this pain, and it was a way to find an adoptive family. This sounds like a simplistic reduction of a person's experience of finding a community. However, it would become, in many ways, the governing principle of his life. Throughout the late 80s and early 90s, Apatow bounced from between stand-up.
I wouldn't call it my salvation because I feel like that is nuts. But bro, it's my life. Like if we chilling somewhere, somebody say put on a movie, I'm telling you, don't look at me because I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to put on. I'm going to put on a comedy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's just that I like
comedy,
that shit.
writing gigs, and befriending the comedic elite. His first roommate when he moved to Los Angeles was Adam Sandler. One of his closest friends early on was Jim Carrey, who he met through performing at comedy clubs. He began cementing himself as a steady, dependable worker in the comedy trenches. After writing on The Larry Sanders Show and producing on a few feature films, namely The Cable Guy and doing an uncredited rewrite on Liar Liar, Apatow.
Well, Liar Liar is definitely, I know a lot of people don't like it because they don't like how Jim Carrey tries to make you laugh, but it is what it is. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. We will. And Cable Guy, which a lot of people kind of don't know about or don't like, I actually enjoyed it. I did.
Apatow
I
had his
enjoyed it.
big creative breakthrough, Freaks and Geeks. Created by Paul Feig and produced by
never seen
Apatow,
this.
the show didn't even get through one season. It followed
Oh, hold on.
Created by Paul Feig and produced by Apatow, the show didn't even get
Oh, this the boy from the Waiting, and this is Jit from Not Another Teen Movie. And I know he's in other shit, but that's what I know him. This is where I know him from.
get through one season. It followed a group of nerds and burnouts in
I gotta watch
1980
this.
and 81.
Oh God.
Didn't even get through one season. It followed a group of nerds and burnouts in 19.
Oh, look at this duo. What was yet to come. And I feel like this is somebody, this old girl. I can't think of her name. But this duo right here, man. I wonder if they knew. I wonder if Judd saw these two, and was like, this.
In 80
He had
and
to.
81 as they attempted to navigate the complex ecosystem
Oh, yeah,
of
that's
high
definitely
school
her. I just
and
can't
young
think of her name.
adulthood. Unfortunately, it was canceled after only 12 of the 18 episodes that were shot had aired.
You cut me
Also,
off
it's a
mid-funk.
show.
The airing schedule for these final few
Oh, yeah, that's
episodes
her.
were so
100%.
erratic and unpredictable, they might as well have never been on TV. For Apatow, this was the ultimate defeat. From his perspective, the powers that be weren't seeing the creative alchemy on display. Apatow had been
I suck two people. But I don't know people's names. I'm so sorry, but I know faces. And that was boy from Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Something like Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I can't think his name.
involved in a lot of projects at this point. He knew when something was good and when it was bad. The incomprehensible aspect of this situation for him was that Freaks and Geeks was great, but no one was watching. Thus, the plug got pulled.
I can
From
see
his
that.
perspective, this was the beginning of a renaissance that was stopped before it had even gotten
It's
a
bothering
chance to be in
It's
its
bothering me. I gotta know her name. I gotta know her name. It's bothering me. Linda Cardellini. That's her name. And what's crazy is this is the same girl that's in Scooby-Doo and Daddy's Home.
prime.
I knew it.
With a
I knew
cast
she was in
almost
something. I just couldn't
exclusively
think.
with
I couldn't
unknowns,
think.
he felt like he had truly discovered something
Oh my
great.
God.
James Franco, Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, Linda
Jason
Cardellini, and
Segel.
Busy Phillips
All I did had to just wait a little bit.
would all go on to become major stars in their own right. When asked about that failure, Apatow responded, "The idea that someone would end that led to me internalizing all this rage.
Oh,
I got a
shit.
herniated disc. I was on
Oh,
all
my
of these
God.
Vicodins. You do kind of lose your mind in grief. Because as a child of divorce, the show was a
herniated
family.
disc.
I couldn't really tolerate the randomness of the disillusion of the family. Obviously, the movies were an attempt to tap into what was happening creatively
Right.
with all those different people on the show. After Freaks and
As we
Geeks was
saw.
canceled, Apatow went to Jason Segel and Seth Rogen and said something that would change all of their lives forever. He told them that they both needed to write their own material. Apatow felt responsible for these kids' future. Rogen literally dropped out of high school to be in
And
Freaks
Seth Rogen is up there too for me. Probably, and I could just be talking because it's the moment. Probably top 5 directors for me, and what writers too. I can't think of a lot of stuff that I don't like that he done. I'll be honest.
Freaks and Geeks. This advice turned out to be a prophetic for the group of Freaks and Geeks alumni. Apatow's short-lived project Undeclared kept the band together for a
And
little
that's,
while,
that
with
look
Rogen
like that was Adam Sandler
writing and
I'm
acting
gonna have to look at these shit
on the show. However, starting in 2004, the creative
Yeah, that's
run
boy-
that
that's boy from
Apatow
like
and his
She's Out of My
crew would
League.
go on would be almost unparalleled. Anchorman, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Talladega Nights, Knocked Up, Superbad, Walk Hard, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Pineapple Express, and Funny People.
Man.
Hands down, it is one of the most
And Funny People is really like kind of like it's a comedy, but it's not like the rest of his comedies. It's kind of got like a little serious tone to it a little bit to me. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you can't look at the rest of those and say, Funny People is the same as like 40-Year-Old Virgin and Pineapple Express. It's totally different.
most culturally impactful eras that any creative clique has ever had in comedy.
That escalated quickly.
More impressive than the financial and critical accolades that were
Yeah.
heaped upon the films is the fact that for nearly the entire decade of the 2000s, they defined what funny was. They owned the raunchy, swear word-laden, toilet humor world.
Yeah.
Humor in the late 1990s was pretty straight-laced. It was mostly a genre that thrived on the television set. However, Apatow and his crew of nerdy outsiders redefined the conception of what would succeed at the box office and how Americans would view raunchy humor. And
And I think what I really 100% think of why people don't like comedies today, this type of comedy or whatever, any comedies to be honest, I think it's I think it's y'all fault. I think people are too fucking critical now. Instead of it's on comedies. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to say like I'm super critical on dramas or actions, sure, whatever. It's supposed to make you laugh. It's supposed to make you snigger, but people like to go to comedies looking to nitpick everything and be like, oh, I don't like this. I saw somebody trying to break down. And, you know, is it a good point to them? Of course it is, bro. They was trying to say, and this is a yap session, so hold on for me. People was like, there's no nuances in this comedy. There's no character resolution. There's no this, there's no that. There's no, character development. There's no resolution. Who gives a fuck? Like, I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck if these characters have a fucking character development. Somebody gets drunk at a bachelor party. They wake up. They don't know where they at. And they got to get it filled to the fucking wedding. Who cares? Like, bro, relax. And I get it. Everybody's different. I saw Sean C say the metaphor. Some people are going to eat a burger, eat it and be like, this was good. Some people are going to be like, hey, this was good because of this. Or this was bad because it is this. I'm the type of person, I'm just going to eat the burger. I'm going to tell you if it's good or bad. I don't care that you have American cheese or cheddar cheese. That doesn't matter to me. So stop trying to make it seem like you are so much better than people because you want to break down the condiments of the burger. You're not. It doesn't, like, to me, it just doesn't matter, bro. And that's cool.
The one film that would forever change Apatow's life was released, Funny People. Debuting in the summer of 2009, Funny People is a dark comedy about the toll fame takes on people. It follows Adam Sandler, who plays George Simmons, a middle-aged stand-up turned sellout movie star who, despite his exorbitant wealth, finds life to be empty and gray. After being diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, he takes the young and aspiring stand-up Ira Wright, played by Seth Rogen, under his wing, and the two end up connecting with Simmons' ex-fiancée. It's a dark and probing film that marks a steady maturation in the themes and biographical nature of Apatow's work. And yet, the wider public didn't care. The film bombed, making only $71.6 million.
Of course it is. It's going to bomb. People just don't like to just enjoy things. And I for one, I don't understand how people can just sit there and be like, man, their personality is, I don't like nothing. Hell yeah, I don't like nothing. Like, that has to be miserable to really like feel like that, bro. Like, you don't like nothing. I try to find joy in everything. Even if I don't like it, there are things I don't like, of course. But I try to find joy in everything I watch, and I like that about me, bro. I do.
On a production budget of $75 million. The film's dark and cynical view of love, relationships, and the eternal question of, is any of this worth it? Did not land with audiences. The man known for making gobs of money off sex jokes wasn't able to convince the wider public that his highly personal dark comedy was worth their time. And because of that, things were never the same for Apatow.
And I get it.
Yes, the films that he directed like Trainwreck, This Is 40, and King of Staten Island were relatively successful, but they don't have the same
This Is 40 was very funny too.
Personal grit to them. They don't have the biting insight that the post-Freaks and Geeks wave of creativity have.
Yeah.
They feel less like he's actively taking a vested interest in making sure these people he loves and care about are taken care of, and more like he's a movie producer trying to make sure the movies and TV shows he produces don't suck. He's a creative godfather now. He's not the central voice at the helm of these pictures.
And I mean, as somebody who's in the industry, I can't say that's a bad thing for him. Not me. I'm not in the industry. I'm talking about him. But that's like, I get it. You, after something bomb like that you probably thought was going to be really good, you probably was like, damn, I need to try to make things, because I remember people love The King of Staten Island. Oh my God, they love that so much.
As a person,
I have not watched it, but it seemed like I'm gonna have to watch it though, because it just doesn't seem like it's his traditional comedy, you know? And that's why I really like Judd Apatow for.
Studio have faith in, and he's trying to use it in a positive manner. 2005 was a long time ago, and we've culturally moved on from stoner comedies and hangout
It was 20 years ago. Goodness.
throwdown sessions. I wouldn't have expected Apatow to keep making movies that were exactly like the films he made in the 2000s, but it really does seem like the failure of Funny People was so personal. He shielded a part of himself. He didn't want to be vulnerable to public anymore. He's fine helping other people to show us all their deepest, darkest flaws, but for him, he did it. It hurt. And so he's going to protect himself going forward. Ultimately, they say conflict is the essence of drama. And in the 2000s, Apatow was fighting to keep his adopted family together. He felt like the magic on the set of Freaks and Geeks was something that needed to be fostered. He wanted to protect the people he creatively held dear, and that made his films brilliant. They were about something, even when they were just about stoner dudes being friends.
I know this sounds weird, but can we be best friends? Just us, for real?
I think we should all be best friends.
We should be.
And now, as a man who's 54 years old with children of his own, he's got other priorities. His daughter Maud is on Euphoria, and Iris is in his recent film, The Bubble. He doesn't need to fight to protect the people he loves anymore.
Damn, I did not know that was his daughter. That's crazy.
He can just flex his Hollywood mega producer muscle and guarantee that they're taken care of. Seth Rogen is one of the biggest names on the planet. He writes, directs, and produces his own films and TV shows.
Did I just see The Boys as produced? Ain't no way. What the fuck? Why didn't I know that? That is nuts. That makes a lot of sense. But that, like, hey, shout out to my dog Seth, bro.
Jason Segel is the face of one of the biggest sitcoms ever, and Linda Cardellini has headlined multiple shows and is in the MCU. So what does Judd Apatow have to fight for anymore? He's exorbitantly wealthy, has immense legacy, and is considered one of the greatest comedy producers of all time. For much of the 2000s, Apatow and his friends had a stranglehold on American culture. They were
100%.
everywhere. Now, Apatow and his colleagues, they're a group of professionals trying to tell stories. And maybe that's enough. Well, that's all we have this week. Will you be revisiting Knocked Up?
This is amazing. Amazing video. I think there's nothing wrong with it. Because at the end of the day, everybody grows older. Everybody does blah, 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 right? I do miss that type of comedy. And that's just me personally. You know, I understand why it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I always feel like you shouldn't look down on somebody because they like something. You know, like just because you like dramas all day, you want to be like sad or you want to like feel something all day, doesn't mean you got to look down on somebody who just want to laugh. That's my main thing. And I think that's all I really got to say. I probably got more in my head. I just, I could talk all day about comedies, but I think we're going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. Till next time. I'm out.